What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Nightowl channel, and welcome to the very first episode of the Dynasty Warriors series. Today, we're going to be going over one of the new characters from Dynasty Warriors 9, and his name is Cheng Pu. Hope you guys enjoy it. So like I said, guys, welcome to the very first episode of the Dynasty Warriors series that I will be doing. This episode will be covering Cheng Pu, who became a playable character in the brand new Dynasty Warriors 9 game. Cheng Pu was an officer of Wu, a veteran officer who served 3 generations of the Sun family. Called Duke Chen by other officers, in the battle with Dong Zhuo, he accompanied Sun Jian as his advisor and took out Hu Zhen at Sishui Gate. He was also a sub-commander at the Battle of Chi Bi and helped the commander Zhou Yu to defeat the forces of Cao Cao in the river. With that being said, let's introduce Cheng Pu.
100,000 yellow turban rebels. Many of them are mere peasants, but that doesn't change the fact that we are greatly outnumbered.
Cheng Pu. He was formerly a provincial official. His talent was discovered by the Sun family patriarch, Sun Jian, and he was made an officer. He fought alongside Sun Jian during the Yellow Turban Rebellion. He was determined to use his brilliance to help support his lord's work to suppress the uprising.
So like I said, this is Cheng Pu's first appearance in a Dynasty Warriors series. He's been an NPC for so long, and in Dynasty Warriors 9, he finally gets his time to shine as a playable character. Now in the beginning, he seems like the typical bitter old man, which is weird because the people that he is constantly scolding are people that are supposed to be around the same age. Like Huang Gai is definitely, Han Dong I believe is a little younger, but they both started when Cheng Pu, they both, were recruited when Cheng Pu was, and Cheng Pu is scolding them like they're little kids.
There you two go again. Looks like I'm going to have to be the one to keep you both in line.
My lord, it's dangerous to go alone. Please take me with you.
Hey! Don't go stealing all the glory for yourself now. I'm coming too.
You fools. He's trying to sneak behind enemy lines. You'll only serve to get him spotted.
And then again, still having that bitter old, man mentality. And, if he wasn't, scolding the people that technically have the exact same, rank as him because they came in at the same time, they have the exact same experience and know-how. And, Han Dong's a little younger and everything, but if he wasn't scolding them, he would be attacking the younger people. Like, Cheng Pu's he doesn't play a big role. So, in the major cutscenes, he's not really in many of them, but there's one where him and Zhou Yu, who's the young guy who just came in, he's a very smart, brilliant guy, he has an idea for a strategy, and then Cheng Pu completely backfires on it. Check it out.
Zhou Yu, this battle you're describing is all in your head. In my opinion, I just do not think it's realistic.
But Master Cheng Pu, while we sit here wringing our hands, Yuan Shu's force just continues to grow.
Ugh. So, you're saying we must defeat him before he engulfs us and seize control of his base? Is that about right, Zhou Yu?
My lord, have you heard the word reckless?
Sun Ce has momentum. He also has the ability to draw people to him and inspire them. With that, now is the time to show the world that Sun Wu is in Jiangdong.
Why do we listen to the musings of a pallid youth?
Listen, let's call it a day. Then tomorrow, I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this.
Hey there. Hold it now. Oh. You went a little far, didn't you? Personally, I really think he had a point back there. I really do.
He did, but he is way too passionate for his age. It comes from being a highly intelligent but rash youth. We must teach him better, understand?
I understand.
At least for now. We must show him exactly what a battle truly is.
So as you saw, Cheng Pu was fighting with the guy with the long hair. His name was Zhou Yu. He was the main commander strategist of the Wu faction, the red team, for a while. And then the guy who was sitting in the head, his name was Sun Se, or Sun Se, however you want to pronounce it. It's weird. Dynasty Warriors 9, their cutscenes are a little off. Their voice is like a little weird, and sometimes it's a little glitchy, and it's just awkward. Okay, they need to work on it. It's their first big game on the Xbox One. Hopefully they fix it in the next Dynasty Warriors. But he was arguing with Zhou Yu, as you saw, and obviously he wasn't happy about his decision. But then he comes out of it, and the guy chasing him was Han Dang. That's the guy. He's constantly like scolding and stuff like that, and he's like, yeah, he had a good point, but he's too young to come up with something like that. He's being too rash. So I was a little confused on his character development at that point, because it's like, okay, you made him the bitter old man who's constantly bashing everybody, but then all of a sudden he's like, oh, he has a point. Like, make up your mind. I mean, I guess it's good. It's a good first step for Cheng Pu. He's definitely had it coming, but it was just kind of weird. So a lot of Cheng Pu's interactions after that is not like major cutscenes, but they're kind of like side scenes where he's in a group with a bunch of people talking.
Surely that he expects trouble ahead. With Dong Zhuo's fall, warlords around the land know that the land can be seized by force. Yuan Chao is looking to leverage our considerable strength. There's little that can be done about that now. No matter what path we take, we are bound to be entwined in the chaos that's...
Or that's where it's 9 did this weird thing where everybody has like a monologue. I've noticed with other characters they do it as well. They kind of like are just sitting there talking to themselves.
Wasn't expecting us to attack Xiaku. Zhou Yu is still quite green when it comes to these things. Although, that's exactly why I need to help pick up the slack. Huang Zhu isn't going to know what hit him.
So as Cheng Pu's story develops, he kind of, deters away from the bitter old man that he was in the beginning, and he starts to become more, compassionate and affectionate towards his teammates and his people the people he go to war with, and especially he grows his bond the strongest with Zhou Yu.
What are we going to do, Zhou Yu? We are warriors of Wu. Surrender should be the last thing on our minds.
Yes, I agree. I never considered surrender to be an option.
So it was weird, but it was kind of cool that he went from the guy who was saying this.
I don't like this. When was Zhou Yu put in a position to give me orders?
To someone who was more affectionate and caring about the people that he was going to war with. For example, there was a scene where he was talking to Sun Quan, or Sun Quan, however you want to pronounce his name, and Sun Quan gives him the ability, or the privilege, if he wants to leave, because his brother just died, and the kingdom of Wu now has a new ruler, and people were leaving left and right because they didn't want to follow the new guy, and this is what Cheng Pu did.
We've lost half our men to desertion.
There's nothing we could have done about it. I believe there are more to come as well. To make matters worse, Huiji and Luling are on the verge of rebellion. Wu's foundation is in danger of crumbling around us.
That can't be helped. I am not my brother. I cannot expect these people to continue to follow me like they did him. Cheng Pu, you have no obligation to me. I know you have long been a loyal servant to our family. You are free to live your life as you see fit now. Father, brother, it seems like the Sun family is on its own once again. Even if I were to lead, there's nobody who would follow me.
Chuen.
That is not true. You have us with you, Lord Sun Quan.
What are you guys doing here?
Perhaps you're seeing things a little more clearly now.
Cheng Pu, did you arrange this?
Yes, although I had to put aside my annoyance with these greenhorns for a bit.
So just as Cheng Pu was coming around and starting to build that relationship with all his officers and really starting to build that bond with Zhou Yu actually passes away. And it's actually depicted in a scene where Cheng Pu is talking to Zhou Yu and he actually dies. Now, Dynasty Warriors 9 does, in my opinion, of course, does a terrible job of depicting Zhou Yu's death. Now, in the previous games, they do a much, much better job of depicting deaths. But in this one, it was awful. It was like watching a B-rated Bollywood movie. Check it out.
Hello, Master Cheng Pu.
You look like you're feeling better. Care to join me for a drink? As long as you're feeling up to it, of course.
Are you sure you wish to drink with a greenhorn like me?
You have performed admirably in the service of Wu. I do not doubt your credentials any longer. Grrr. It seems I forgot to bring the cups.
Get a hold of yourself. Master Cheng Pu, we need you to train all of the other greenhorns in our army.
I never thought I'd live to see the day you were scolding me. Wait a moment. I'll be right back.
Master Cheng Pu, I leave the rest to you.
Zhou Yu? Curse you, greenhorn.
So after Zhou Yu's death, Cheng Pu's story really comes to an end, and it was quite the interesting story. Like I said at the beginning, it was kind of bland, and I didn't really like it because of, this, grumpy old man kind of persona that he had. But then at the end, it turns it around and becomes more affectionate and definitely builds a very strong bond with Zhou Yu. So after Zhou Yu dies, you can tell how much it affects him during his cinematic. I mean, think about it. This is the guy who was constantly disagreeing with him and not, wanting to follow orders from this guy. And then, he's been with the Wu and Red Team for so long that he eventually comes around and Zhou Yu becomes one of his closest companions and he passes, and it definitely affects him to a great deal. Check it out.
Cheng Pu fought alongside his allies to drive back the attacking Wei army at Rushiku. He could sense how far the younger officers of Wu had come in their development. They were the great hope for the future that Zhou Yu had entrusted to the present. Thinking back caused Cheng Pu to lament Zhou Yu's untimely death once more. Afterwards, Sun Quan planned a big party to celebrate their victory at Rushiku. Everybody expected it to be a typical Wu celebration, filled with copious amounts of food, wine, and song. However, the man that was to be the center of attention was nowhere to be found.
I may never come across such a wonderful vintage again. Still, there are a lot of rare finds here. This is the new age that you're striving for. It is filled with pure hope. It's so glaringly bright. Perhaps it will not be so terrible watching the lives of these young ones Don't you think so, Zhou Yu?
So yeah, as you can see, he was pretty devastated that Zhou Yu wasn't there. I mean, he was raising a glass to, you know, his ghost and hoping, you know, that he could have been there with him. But nonetheless, that's how his story ends. And I personally, I like the story. At first, I hated it. I thought it was kind of, you know, his character wasn't really fitting towards me. And then it kind of changed, and I was like, oh, okay. So it was pretty cool to see that development. I liked playing as Cheng Pu. His weapon of choice, which is like it kind of resembles the old Zhang Fei weapon style, which is like the Cobra Pike from Dynasty Warriors 6. I liked it. It's nothing too flashy. I like the old kind of you know, hack and slash mentality. I mean, he does everybody has the ability to launch and do the flying stuff, quote unquote flying stuff, but it's not as crazy as some of the other characters, you know. So I just wish they would go back to more of that style than the style that they have now with all the elements and stuff like that, which is, I mean, the elements is fine. It's just sometimes it's too much, exploding like a million people at once, but that's just my opinion. But Cheng Pu, voice actor, was cool. I mean, he didn't have one before. He was an NPC for so long, so I think it fits him pretty well. I mean, there are some characters that have had voice characters or voice actors from the past, and they do not, some of their new ones do not match up with who they are, and we'll get into that as we go through more people. But he is the 90th on the list, so he's 90th, and the next one's going to be 89th. And, I mean, these next 7 people are kind of around, I mean, they're technically all the same rank. They weren't included in the voting polls because they're brand new. They weren't included in mine because I have never played as him, and it wouldn't be fair to really judge him. I after playing as him, Cheng Pu, I believe, is a little higher than 90. He's definitely not at the bottom, at least in my opinion. But I enjoy playing with him. I mean, let me know what you guys think. If you guys have used him, if you guys are Dynasty Warriors fans and have any opinions on that, just let me know. Let me know what your favorite characters are. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, definitely would appreciate a like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.